Swadika and very good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World. We'll begin tonight with the news of His Majesty the King, who has donated plots of land to the government for educational purposes as well as for public use. His Majesty the King has donated several plots of land in Bangkok and elsewhere to state agencies for educational, recreational, and state purposes. They include 48 hectares in Pathum Thani province for a new zoo and office of the Zoological Organization and land in the Dusit district of Bangkok, on which Suan Dusit University is located. A ceremony for the presentation of land title deeds was held on Sunday at the Ampon Throne Hall in the Dusit Palace, presided over by Their Majesties the King and the Queen. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha led ministers and officials in receiving the deeds. Among the pieces of land donated by His Majesty the King are those for the offices of the Department of Public Disaster Prevention and Mitigation and the Department of Local Administration Promotion Department, the Royal Thai Army, the Office of the Border Patrol Police's Nure Suan Camp, Ratchavinit School, Suan Sunanta, and Suan Dusit University, including the construction of a museum of precious woods in Thailand. Moving on to the news of the anti-government protests in Bangkok, although the protesters gathered last weekend, it has been reported that they will gather again this Wednesday. On Saturday, protesters from Bad Students, Mobfest, and other groups staged a rally in front of Siam Square shopping mall under the BTS station after having moved from Raprasong intersection due to heavy rain. The protest organizers had already notified police of their planned rally. As protesters, who include many high school students and adults, began arriving at the scene at about 12 p.m., but continuous heavy rain forced the organizers to relocate the rally to nearby Siam Square, where the train station platform provides protesters with some shelter. At the so-called Bye Bye Dinosaur protest, the Bad Student group said that since Parliament, which they describe as a dinosaur, refused to accept changes, they will become a meteorite which will strike the dinosaur, talking about all the issues in which the dinosaur Parliament had refused to listen. The anti-government protesters led by the Rasadon group and Salaya student groups also gathered at Aksa Road on Sunday. The rally was held along with activities to commemorate the red shirts, as Aksa Road used to be the site of mass protests by the United Front for Democracy Against Dictatorship, which was a pro-Thaksin Shinawatra group in April 2014. Later in the evening, protest leader Penguin Paritchiwarak joined the rally and didn't forget to criticize the military government on stage. Meanwhile, the protesters have announced that they will gather again in front of the Crown Property Bureau at Dusit District this Wednesday, and so far the authorities have been put on high alert. And just so you know, these are the stories we've also been following.
Thailand reported 7 new cases of COVID-19 today. All of them, except one, are asymptomatic. The new cases include 6 Thais and 1 Syrian. The Thais include 1 each returning from the United States, Kosovo, Germany, Denmark, the United Kingdom, and Qatar. The 17-year-old Syrian student from Lebanon had a fever, muscle pains, and a headache the day he was tested, which returned a positive result. The new cases brought the total number of infections in the country to 3,920, with 5 new recoveries and no new fatalities. About 70,000 displaced people from Myanmar who have taken refuge in 3 border camps in Tak province have been barred from leaving after one of them was found to be infected with COVID-19 after having left the camp to visit Myanmar and returned. The 48-year-old man had a fever and was diagnosed with COVID-19 when he returned to a camp in Kirirat sub-district in Phopra district last week. He was later admitted to a hospital in Maesot district. The Tak provincial administration has now ordered a lockdown of 3 border camps and has banned all 70,000 residents of the camps from leaving, as health officials are tracing those who were in close contact with the infected man. The government plans to introduce a new app called Thailand Plus to enable the tracing of foreign tourists in the country. The Thailand Plus app functions like the contact tracing app Moshana, which will also link to information from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs regarding the certificate of entry of the arriving foreign tourists for screening and tracing from arrival in Thailand for the prevention of COVID-19 spread. Similar to a GPS system, officials will know their whereabouts of the tourists during their stay in Thailand in case any of them are found to have contracted with the virus, so that action can be taken immediately to prevent its spread. The Tourism Authority of Thailand will launch new campaigns to target a new unique group of tourists next year. The TAT Executive Director of Tourism Products said the aim was to create travel packages for singles, such as boat trips to temples where the traveler can make merit and pray for a partner. It also plans to design unique travel packages for groups like the LGBTQ, food lovers, those seeking physical or spiritual retreats, or even digital nomads.
And that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World. I'm Nad Bunak standing off, and we'll see you tomorrow. สวัสดีค่ะ